16 years old, she's going to be climbing her way to the top of that waterfall. Once she's at the top, if we can give her a massive wave hello, we'll see if she can give you one back. And what you've just seen is an incredible 3-metre dive into our active oceans pool. Now the second sea lion you're going to be meeting, her name is Lo. You will most likely hear her before you see her because she is our noisiest sea lion. She's also one of our oldest at 20 years old, and you can see her at the back of the beach now. Now once they've both made their way through the water and onto their stands, we will have Lo closest to me, it's found in the UK, and that water is salt water. So it creates the natural environment our sea lions would have out there in the wild. Now quite often here at the zoo we do hear our sea lions get confused for seals. It can be a very easy mix-up, so I'm going to go through a couple of key differences so you can always tell the two different animals apart. Now the first difference can be a little bit difficult to see, but hopefully you will be able to spot on the side of our sea lions' heads they have a visible flap of skin. This is in fact their ears, similar to our own earlobes. Whereas the ear of a seal is much more difficult to see because they just have a hole covered with some hair. Thankfully for us, however, the second difference is much easier to spot because it is in fact their flippers. So you can see on both our sea lions they have incredibly large front flippers that help them move around on the land and in water. Whereas a seal's flipper is much smaller, in fact it's similar to the size of a human hand. And it even has 5 short claws on the end to pull themselves up from the water up onto the ice. Now the third and final difference is the way that our sea lions move around. So you'll be able to see with Lo, she can walk around pushing her body completely off the floor with the use of those flippers. She can climb this rock very easily if she wants to. And she can even run as well. Now this does of course mean that we need to demonstrate to you exactly how a seal would move so that you can compare the two different animals and you'll be able to see it is quite different. So as I said, seals don't have these large front flippers, so instead they have to struggle on the beach on their big tummies, and it is a little less graceful when compared to a sea lion. We can give them both a massive round of applause for demonstrating those differences today. So of course we do train our sea lions here at the zoo. This usually starts at around 3 years of age, and it's all with the use of a target stick. So Stuart's got a target stick in his hand, it's got a black rod and a red end. Now sea lions are colourblind so they can't tell the difference between colour, but they can between shade. And being naturally inquisitive, they'll touch their noses to the end. You'll hear the whistle is blown, and then they're rewarded with a fish as a treat. This is known as positive reinforcement, and it's a really useful way to train our sea lions. So as you can see, they'll follow that target stick around with ease. Now this is helpful for asking them to go from A to B, or even housing them at the back whilst you do training or health checks. Now as their training does progress, the target stick isn't needed, and instead it's swapped out for hand signals, which you'll see throughout the majority of this demonstration. Now the most important reason we do train our sea lions, of course, is for their health checks. So we're going to go through a couple of these health checks with you today. The first health check is called a dental check. So our trainers can ask our sea lions to open up their mouths, which enables them to look inside at all those teeth. Now when sea lions are born, their teeth are white. However, over time they do become stained black or brown. So just because our sea lions' teeth are black, this is not an indication of bad health. It is in fact a very healthy coating of bacteria. The second health check is on their flippers. They use them for an incredible number of things, so it's important to check they're nice and healthy. But this is also the thinnest part of a sea lion's body. So if we needed to administer any medication or take any blood, this is where we do it. So it's really useful to get them used to presenting those flippers when asked. The third and final health check we're going to show you today is called a full body check. So our trainers can ask our sea lions to lie down on their beach, which enables them to check all over their body for any lumps, bumps or scratches. gestures because they are large-bodied, playful animals. Even asking them to roll over, which makes sure the hound check's really thorough, and we could even do an ultrasound scan to check them internally as well. If we can give them both a massive round of applause for demonstrating their healthcare routine today. So out there in the wild, sea lions hunt for over 50 different species of fish, including octopus and eels sometimes. So the way we help them attain their natural hunting abilities here at the zoo is by introducing hoops into their training. So just as most predators, they have forward-facing eyes, also known as binocular vision, and this in combination with their very flexible necks enables them to catch these hoops just as they would their fish in the wild. But of course, sea lions definitely don't hunt for fish on land, they do this in the water. So to make this more natural and mentally stimulating, we can move this hoop throwing into our pool. So as soon as Laura chucks those hoops, Anya's going to use that incredible eyesight to judge speed and distance, catching all three of them. The water out there in the wild, however, isn't as always as clear as our pool is. Sometimes it's incredibly murky, which means the fish are harder to spot. This means that sea lions have to rely on something else to catch their fish, and this is in fact their whiskers. So they have 40 incredibly sensitive whiskers either side of their nose, who would pick up on the vibrations of fish as they move through the water. And you can see with Lo here, her whiskers are curling up around the ball, sensing where it's going to go. Now it's incredibly important that we train them to use these whiskers with the use of a ball, so if they did lose their eyesight for any reason, they could still move around and catch their fish. Now just to prove to you, it is the whiskers doing all that work. You can see with Anya there, she's sensing where it's going to be and keeping it balanced on the end of her nose. Now it can take anywhere from 3 months to over a year to learn to do this. And as their training does progress, we can move this ball throwing into the water. So in just a moment, Anya's going to head into the water. And she's going to demonstrate just how impressive those whiskers are. So as soon as this ball is chucked into the water, Anya's going to pick up on the vibrations, lift it up with her nose, keeping it balanced with those whiskers, up onto her stand and back to her trainer. So I have told you all today that sea lions are incredible at hunting out there in the wild. Now this is 100% true, however it does not mean that they're top of the food chain. There is in fact one animal that would love to make a tasty snack out of our sea lions. I'm not going to tell you what this is just yet. Instead we're going to see if Anya can head into the water and demonstrate what animal this might be.
After a while.
So as soon as Anya heads into the water today, I'm going to need everybody's help inside this arena. So on the count of 3, if we can give one big shout out, what animal Anya might be demonstrating. I think the sun's not on her side today. There we go. So hopefully you can all get a very good look there. So if on the count of 3 we give one big shout out what animal this might be. 1, 2, 3. Oh, that was alright guys. But Laura Stewart, did you hear that? I didn't think so. So we need to try again. Much, much louder this time. 1, 2, 3. That was much better. And you are right. A tiger shark, a bull shark, a great white shark, or even a killer whale would try to eat our sea lions. So if they were close to land, they could head onto a beach. However, sometimes they are swimming in the middle of the open ocean. So it's something else they have to rely on to escape that predator. Now you're very lucky today because we've got two of our more experienced sea lions who know a couple of behaviours they can do to escape a predator out there in the wild. So we're going to start off with Lo. So she's heading to the water and she's going to demonstrate one of these behaviours for you. And what you can all see Lo doing there is something called porpoising. So this streamlines the sea lion's body, propels himself out of the water with the use of those incredible flippers, making them extra speedy, giving them a couple of extra seconds to find their way onto land. So that's one of two behaviours. Anya's going to head into the water and she's going to demonstrate the second. Which takes lots of bubbles, confusing that shark, giving her a couple of extra seconds to find her way onto land. Unfortunately for our sea lions, however, sharks aren't the biggest problem to them. There's an even bigger threat to most of our wildlife, and this is unfortunately plastic pollution. So it is estimated that by 2050 there's going to be more plastic in our oceans than fish. So Stuart's going to do something we should never ever do with our rubbish, and he's chucking that plastic bottle into the water. However, Lo can demonstrate to you all exactly where rubbish should be going. She's picked it up out of the water, she's bringing it onto the beach, and she's popping it in our bin. And even better, a recycling bin. So there's one thing we can all learn from Lo today is to make sure our rubbish is making its way to the bin, and we are recycling where we can because it goes a really long way to supporting our wildlife. Now this does bring us towards the end of our sea lion demonstration today. We give one final round of applause to Lo, Anya, Laura and Stuart. They've done a fantastic job. And if you give them one final wave goodbye, they're going to leave you with an incredible front flipper stand, so you never forget how strong and powerful those front flippers are. Thank you for listening everybody. I do hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, Stuart and Laura will be heading out to this gate. The next talk today is Lima's at 12:30. Thank you.
What?